Hello everybody, I'm back again. Today's review is going to be about McCall paper pattern in, I think this one is M6325, and this is a Miss Top or Mrs. Top, close fitted self-lined tops. You have the option of putting boning in, and also what I did was that I chose View C. I really like when tops are like this, you know, it's quite flattering to my body shape. I didn't want something without the straps because I was just afraid that it might keep falling off. So I wanted one with the straps. So the suggested fabric to use was lightweight denim, lightweight broadcloth, voile, stretch wovens, linen, and also you can use contrast fabric. So what I did was that I just chose a printed cotton fabric. I didn't choose a contrast fabric for the lining and all. So yeah, and also this particular view, this one, you see, doesn't involve putting in boning. I personally do not like boning because I just feel that it just makes you look very stiff, very artificially stiff. Of course it's good, you know, it really helps you improve your posture. It forces you to stand the way, you know, you should be standing and all, but I just don't like it. I just feel that I need to go for comfort more than the style per se. So as usual, I chose a size 6, okay, because this pattern comes from size 6 to size 20. I was a size 6, but around the hip, from the waist and then down towards my hip, I have to give a little bit more adjustment, you know. It was a little too narrow, so I had to like move it towards a size 8. So that worked fine, and this was the outcome of it. A very pretty cute printed cotton fabric I had in my stash. Had this fabric for many years actually. So yeah, it comes with a front button stand. So you will need to know how to make buttons, of course, as in like buttonholes and how to stitch them up. There are many video tutorials available online, so do check it out if you don't know. I must say that this particular pattern required so many pieces, you know. There were so many pattern pieces, almost like, I think if I'm not wrong, like how many are 9 to 10 pieces, and you have to like be careful to make sure that you don't get all confused and mixed up with the lining and also the main fabric, especially if you are like me using the, you know, the lining the same fabric as the front and the back, you know. So you might get a bit confused, but other than that, once you know and you have a proper, you know, organization of your sewing patterns, it's quite good to go. I mean, you can do it. For this particular pattern, it took me about 2 days to complete it, because since it was like so many pieces, you know, I didn't want to like rush and make a mistake and then sit down and unpick. So what I did was that I took the time to, you know, cut the pieces, put it aside, I took a break, did something else, I came back, and then I stitched the sides, you know, and then the next day I stitched the bust part, you know. The tricky part was definitely the bust part, you know, because the instructions, I noticed something was a bit wrong with the instructions. There was some kind of error in it, you know. Based on my experience as a sewer, I just felt that the way they explained it, it just wasn't very clear in the instructions. So I'm not going to go into detail. Maybe I may have misunderstood. But then again, I just read it like 2-3 times. It just didn't make sense. Okay, example, the confusion already started from the beginning. Okay, like instruction 1, I mean 1, 2, 3. Okay, it says that you have to place the front, the bra front, the uninterfaced, because you need to face the you know, the fabric. You need to cut 2 pieces of it, and then you have to face one of it, as in like put interface on one of it. So what it says is that, you know, the bra cup front the uninterfaced one, you stitch it together, and then it skips on the ones, and then it says the interface sections will be used for lining. So what happened was that I completely got confused over here because I just felt that the instruction wasn't that very clear. So what I did was that I made a mistake, and I placed the after a while I realized that I placed the interfaced lining in the front instead, because basically the fabric was the same. I was using the same fabric for the lining and my main fabric, main piece fabric for the sewing pattern. So I just felt that it wasn't very clear. I just feel that it would have been better if they had, okay, interfaced fabric, stitch it front and back. Uninterfaced fabric, this is for the lining. It would have been a bit more clearer that way than to just twist around with the words. It was just a bit confusing for me. And then it was also the way that the diagram showed where to do the top stitching. I tried to follow the diagram, but somehow it didn't work out, so I just did it my way, the way that I knew how to do. So yeah, and then as for the straps, the pattern, the straps that the pattern has already drafted, that measurement is so long. I had to take almost 10.5 cm on my left side, on my right side, and then about 8 cm on my left, because I have a bit of a slopey, droopy kind of a shoulder, especially my right. It's because of my army training and all that stuff. I had to carry heavy loads and all, so I just made a mistake when I was a lot younger. I didn't know about weight distribution and all, so I always carried it on my right. It just felt natural. So after many years I just realized that it was slightly droopier than my left. So what I did was that I didn't stitch it in place, because based on the instructions it also says that you have to adjust and put in. So what I did was that I placed the straps much later, almost towards the end, when I was almost done with the the body's top. And then the other thing to take note is that when you are stitching this, the bra cup, it's very easy for the fabric to open up. So what it suggests is that do a stay stitch, and what I did was that I completely ignored that. So my suggestion is that if you're going to do this, get a piece of like a cotton twill tape or a cross grain ribbon, or in fact you can also cut out interfacing, just like maybe I think like 6 mm in length, this kind of a measurement, 6 mm. Just cut out a interfacing strip, and then you just iron it on, so that when you sew, the fabric doesn't stretch, So yeah, I hope it just makes sense. What I said makes sense. So what I had a bit of trouble. You will see it in the pictures, what I mean. And also I didn't like where the buttons were placed in the pattern. So what I did was that I just marked where I wanted the buttons to go to, and then I managed to get it done. Yeah, so this is, overall it was still an okay pattern, but it's definitely a pattern that I would definitely not go back and sew again, I think, unless I am like very free and I don't have any other patterns to look forward to doing. But other than that, I just thought that I love this kind of bodies, especially like the sweetheart kind of neckline. It just gives a very nice, classy look. But this particular pattern didn't work out for me, or maybe it was just the skill, my sewing skill wasn't that very good, so it didn't come out well. Yeah, so this is my overall review of this particular paper pattern, McCall M6325, this one. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.